Peace and love, everybody. We're back at it. Another beautiful day in the Lone Star State. Get situated and break this fight down to a science. And I do mean peace and love to everybody. If you chimed into the last prediction of the Plant Benavidez, it was spot on. You know, I've been getting on the Spence Ugas fight and on the Benavidez Plant fight. I had two people ask me if I were telepathic because I'm predicting the fight as if I already watched the fight before it happened. It's nothing like that. We just love the sport and got a little good intuition. Hey, but that's the past. It's about the future. And we got a dandy coming up in another week between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. Hey, if you're a betting man, take heed. You might come up. I'm not expecting anything. Hey, but I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Even check out my YouTube channel. I'm rocking the I Am Your Brother shirt. This is the book that I wrote. It's t-shirts and books. www.authorjainyreynolds.com. You can get it at Amazon as well. The book is having an impact on the youth. It's being loved by people of all races and ages that wanted to see it in the movie theater. Hey, Lord willing, we would love that. But the YouTube channel has videos of short films, positive, inspiring videos, anything to bring understanding, enlightenment, peace and love to the heart, mind, and soul of people of this world, or anyone in need. On to the fight game. I done wasted 2 minutes. Let's get to it. I like to start off with the pros and cons and compare the pros and cons. You know, Tank Davis, he's a dog. He's a killer. He got that mean streets of Baltimore in his DNA and his blood. Dynamite power in left hand and his right hand. Great distance control. Know when to turn it off, turn it on. Great speed. Great counterpuncher. Footwork. And we've seen him move up in weight and fight bigger opponents. And we've seen him have to seal the deal, a win in later in the rounds, to not leave it in the judges' hands. Not that he was losing any fight that he fought. It's just he didn't want to leave it in the judges' hands, and we had to see him bite down towards the end of the rounds and seal the deal. And if it's in the later rounds and knocking people out, it shows that he does have good stamina. He also has that as well. On the cons, I don't really see much cons. It's just, you know, he will. It seems as though sometimes he'll fight to the level of his competition. But I don't think he'll do that this fight because I think this is his biggest fight, and Garcia is dangerous. And he will have a tendency to give up early rounds and have a slow start. The reason why I think he'll do that is because he's just feeling his opponent out, and he'll want to test their power. If he doesn't respect their power, he'll take more chances and take more risks, like he did in the Leo Santa Cruz fight, where he was willing to trade, even eat some shots to get off some of his shots. So on to Ryan Garcia. Pros and cons. We all know he has devastating power in his left hand. He grew up in the sport of boxing. He uses his height well. He has a good, decent jab to, when kind of pressing forward. He has great confidence and belief in himself. The simple fact that he doesn't fear Davis and he really believes he's going to win, I believe is what's going to make this fight a high drama, action-packed fight. Far as the cons, we have seen him get dropped. Luke Campbell dropped him in the second round, and if you notice, when he was dropped, he was flat-footed. If you're flat-footed against Gervonta Davis, that could be a recipe for disaster. But working with Joe Goossum, he's a stiffler on fundamentals, if I'm not mistaken, so he could iron some of those out, but only time would tell. Another con is his experience. I'm not really too fond of his resume. Besides Luke Campbell, I don't really know who he's fought. I don't think he's fought any A or B plus fighters. It's just C minus, C plus and minus fighters and fighters I've never heard of. So that experience, that lack of experience, could play a factor towards the end of this fight, and I believe that it will. Um, and I think yeah, that's for the pros and cons. So once I combine these pros and cons, and I feel like Davis has the edge on more pros. I feel like he has more skill, he has more experience, and and grit. But we'll get to that in the later in my prediction. This is what I feel like is going to happen. In the first 4 rounds, we may expect them to jump right out the gate on each other, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I feel like they'll give a little bit too much respect in the first few rounds, but Garcia will use his height, and they'll touch each other up just a little bit to earn each other's respect. But Garcia will win majority of the first 5 rounds. But round 5 and 10, where Gervonta Davis will win majority of those rounds from, I believe in camp, he's been working on his defense to neutralize and take away Ryan Garcia's greatest strength, and that's the power left. In round 5, in the mid rounds, I think he will neutralize that and take away his greatest strength, and he'll do what he does. He'll get a little closer, and I feel like Garcia will feel power that he's never felt before. And I feel like Tank will too. I think this is the first fight that we will see Tank not get wobbled or dazed, but he will get hurt by a shot, to where we look in to see his response. And but but he got that dog in him, that grit, and it just can make him bring out something that we've never seen before. But in the mid rounds, I feel like that's when it's going to be the most action-packed, drama-filled fight. Both fighters will touch each other up. They'll give the fans fight what they want to see. But what's going to happen? So if I have Garcia winning the first majority of the first 5, and Garcia and Tank Davis starting to take over in the mid rounds and win a majority of the mid rounds, so that will make for a close fight come round 10, with Davis having the edge and winning maybe 1 or 2 rounds more. And I believe in the 10th round, in the 9th round, Garcia will go to his corner, knowing that he's losing the fight, and mentally will tell himself, if I let this go to the judges' hands, I'm going to lose by decision. So this is when his lack of experience is going to kick in, and he's going to rely too much on his bread and butter, on his left power, and he's going to try to utilize it too much. And that's when the great trap setter Gervonta Davis will catch him with a left, and is going to drop him. He's going to hurt him. But Garcia will get up and finish the fight. But Davis will dominate the I wouldn't say dominate, but he's going to win. That knockdown is going to pretty much capitalize the victory for him, and it'll be a good fashion finish. But I have Gervonta Davis winning by 3 to 4 rounds. With that being said, usually when a fighter loses, their stock drops. But I think Garcia's stock may go up, because they'll see that he does have that dog in him. He gave the fight fans what they wanted to see. When he got dropped, he got up and finished the fight like a warrior, and he went into the fight with no fear. The simple fact that he went in there with no fear is going to make the fight exciting, and I think that's what we're going to get. And Gervonta Davis will be the face of boxing, up there with Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, Canelo, and some other guys, but in a future Hall of Famer. But Garcia, he will he'll be good for boxing, and people want to tune in when he does fight. And but Davis will get the best of him due to experience, more grit, and more skill. Until next time, peace and love.